Anytime a man has money, he will have friends. But when the money finishes, all the friends will disappear. Remaining the real friend who normally tell him the truth about his life. They were following Christ. Many of them at a point. He noticed that there are some who follow him when things are favorable. There are those who follow him when things are not favorable, and they are there for him. When you read John chapter 6, when he was talking about, I will give you my flesh, he fed with the bread from John chapter 6, from verse 1 to 14. He fed with the bread, and in verse 15, they dragged him to make him a king, so that anytime they need bread or they need economic things, they will come and say, what they need is what? That economic Messiah, not the real Messiah. And he slipped up their hand from verse 16 up to 62, 63. He told them, I will give you my body, no longer the bread. And many of them disappeared. That is what? Disciples. But this morning, Christ, he called those disciples. First of all, he went up the hill and prayed all night. He spent his time to pray to God throughout the night. If you really want to do serious work, you need to have time for God. And that time is not a time anything can distract you. There are times that you spend with God, it will be fruitful. There is time you spend with God, it will not be fruitful. That is why the apostles are the people who are dedicated. Where things are favorable, they are there. Things are not favorable, they are there. But disciples, when things are favorable, they will be there. When things are not favorable, they will disappear. And Christ, he noticed that they normally disappear. He now went up to pray throughout the night. After praying throughout the night, he now called the whole disciples. From them, he now chose only 12. Only 12. Out of many of them, he chose only 12. But what are the theme of our reflection this morning? He spent all night praying to God. Try to have a particular time where you pray to God. If Christ will choose midnight to pray, especially when things are very, very serious, he will spend throughout the night praying. And when atmosphere will be calm, I describe it as it is a time when men are sleeping, when the spirit of God and some demons hovers around. Mmụọ ji meeting, mmụọ mmadụ ji ezuru ike, ihe ezuruzi ike, ndị dị ike n'ụwa mmụọ, ekunye n'ụwa mmụọ, na-arụ ọrụ mmụọ na nderi. If you want to really do a serious spiritual work, you have to wake up that midnight. That is why many occult grandmasters, they use that particular time for their manipulation and for their projection and incantation. Why men of God, why women of God are busy sleeping? You need to wake up sometimes. Even in Igbo tradition, as in that, look at her from 16 Kembe till 16 Kotutu. Oya na abụrụ nwoke, oya bụ nwee ke abụrụ na nke. N'ọrụ mgbe burugbo nwoke rahụkata ụra na be ya na vileji, ọ nakata na ndị eri okunie mmamịrị na-agụda akpagodi ọpụta ọgagharịa na peye ọgagharị ọkwụacha ụkwara ma mmụọ na-aga ma mmadụ na-aga nụ amara na nwoke emegịrị onye mmụọ agaghị agagharị ọ bụrụ na ọ kwachacha akpịrị ya ọ gagharịa na kọmpaụnd ya ọ bata weta ụtaba ya na ọbụrụ onye na-akpụ ụtaba ọ kụwa aka n'isi pam 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 werịta ọkọrọ ụtaba otinyi ọma uzere ya eti ọ bụrụ ka ọsọsọ na uzere na-eme ya ọ ka mmụọ ọbụla na raụndụ mara na o nwere ji obi bi n'ụlọ a onye mmemme ụfọdụ abakwa na be nwaanyị ajaki a na-akụ ọkụ na-aka abalị enyi ha bikos na-ama na o nwere osi nwoke ji obi mgbe ọ nọ n'ọpụara mana dises nwoke ga-arahụ ụra from 6 to 6 nke ụtụtụ ọnwarọzi ihe ọmazi a na-eme n'ụlọ ebe na ọ kpachara onwe ofu nwaanyị nọ ya n'akụkụ hapụkwa nwunye jebe ebe ọzọ o chefuo na o nwere ụmụ mmụọ ya ga na-abọrọ n'ụlọ. That is a problem. Sometimes anyị ụmụ nwoke anyị amarụ na anyị na anyị na ndị mmụọ na-erikọ asasị bụ nwoke gụọ na mmụọ na-eme gịnị na-erikọ maka na Chineke kechara gị tinyere ike mmụọ n'ime ma ọ bụrụ na ikwu okwu ya dị otu a mana ụfọdụ nwoke abọzi okwu onye mere mgbe ụfọdụ ọ bụrụ na ọkpọcha anya bụ ụtabawa ọmachachi ime ihe okwu okwu mmụọ na ngwuru ka be ya ga-esi wee dị for that day. Okwuche anya bụ okwu mmụọ mee gịnị o dịnakwa ala ụra onye na-eji so akwụkwọ nsọ si he spent all night in prayer. And after spending the whole night in prayer, he now came down, called those people. He didn't allow anybody to go with him. Where was? Because such a hero came, all more asị, that is ese mmụọ ọgbagoro na ebe n'aka n'elu ugwu ma na-aba ma relax ya kpọkụsie ndị o kwesịrị ịkpọkụ okube ya kpọkụsie fa omegịrị uru n'ụtụtụ eze mmụọ emegịrị harituo okwu mmụọ okwu ahụ emegịrị hatile iwe juo iwere taịm iji wee na-edokwa pere n'ụwa mmụọ. You have time when you do certain things in the spiritual for your own family, for your own business, for other things, because you will be sleeping in the midnight. You can't wake up and go barumba. Or Jana midnight now we go for candle. Now we go for incense. After and daily, how much after and daily? We go we could see your making on my roof for candle. That is it. Half time, sometimes. That's why sometimes when I give somebody, you go with midnight prayer. You sleeping on your destiny. Sometimes. So let us have time to emulate the activities of Christ. If you watch throughout the prayer of Christ, everything is what? Midnight. Whenever you want to do great work. Even when he fed the 5,000, he spent all night on the mountain, throughout the night, without allowing anybody. That will get Let us ask God to give us the grace to emulate the act of Jesus this morning that he spent all night in prayer. Let us spend time with God, especially I alone with God, and things will begin to change for you and for the peace be with you.